The From Season 3 finale addresses a long-running mystery about the monsters' ages. Since their introduction, From's nocturnal monsters have been one of the show's most prominent mysteries. They have terrorized, manipulated, and killed many of From's characters. The monsters' tactics only become more ruthless in Season 3, including when they release all the farm animals and wait in the barn, where they brutally kill Tien-Chen Liu, Elizabeth Moe, in front of Boyd Stevens, Harold Perrineau. While the monsters remain as terrifying as ever, the From Season 3 ending does answer several major questions about them, including how and why they were created in the first place. The rebirth of the smiley monster, Jamie Maguire, which was what was growing inside of Fatima, Pega Ghafouri, also confirms that the monsters are immortal and Boyd did not permanently kill Smiley in Season 2. These reveals lead to an important revelation about the monsters' ages. The monsters' origins reveals why none of them are children. The adults became monsters by sacrificing all their children. The From Season 3 finale explains that the monsters sacrificed their children in return for immortality. This clarifies why none of the monsters are children, as all the children were killed, and only the adults became immortal monsters. Fatima says that it made this offer of immortality to the adults that became the monsters. This may refer to the man in the yellow suit, who is shown to be more powerful than the regular monsters as he is able to move freely outside during the daytime. If some of the monsters were children, this may have allowed them to more easily tempt and manipulate younger residents. However, since all the children had to die in order to create the monsters, it was never going to be feasible for any of them to be children. The adult monsters are evil, while the Ankui children that Tabitha Matthews, Catalina Sandino Moreno, and Jade Herrera, David Alperi, see have been trying to help the residents. From finally confirms that the monsters were originally human. Their origins may be further explored in Season 4. The smiling creature leans over the banister in the colony house in From. The monsters were once humans who lived in the town alongside the original versions of Tabitha and Jade. This explains why the monsters look like humans and why they wear human clothing despite their nocturnal behavior and bloodthirsty appetites. In some ways, it makes the monsters more horrifying to know that they are not just supernatural entities, but were humans who made the decision to kill their children so they would be able to live forever. From Season 4 could go back to before the monsters were created and when they were human. It does not need to be a traditional flashback, but could instead be shown through Julie Matthews, Hannah Sherami, time traveling. Seeing Smiley and the other monsters when they were humans, along with the original versions of Tabitha and Jade, would be fascinating. It could also give Julie the information she needs to help From's residents combat the monsters and to figure out how to escape the town for good. From Season 4 still has to solve the mystery of when the monsters were created. The timeline is currently unclear. Close-up of the Civil War soldier taking aim at Jade in From. Based on the style of clothing that the monsters wear, they may have been created in the 1950s or 1960s. At the same time, there is a sense that the town and its supernatural forces are much older than this, and that the deaths of the Ankui children occurred long before the mid-20th century. Evidence for this includes Jade's vision of an American Civil War soldier in Season 1. Since Jade's visions now seem to be memories of his past lives, the Civil War soldier suggests that past versions of Jade and Tabitha were in the town in the 1860s. Since the original versions of Jade and Tabitha were in the town when the children were killed and when the monsters were created, this would mean that the monsters have existed at least since the 1860s. However, this does not explain why the monsters dress in a style more reminiscent of the 1950s and 1960s. Victor Kavanaugh, Scott McCord, and his family are also vital to factor into this timeline. Victor has been trapped in the town for approximately 40 to 45 years. One of the past versions of Tabitha was Victor's mother, Miranda, Sarah Booth. Miranda is not the first iteration of Tabitha to have lived in the town. The timeline needs to ensure that enough time passes between the monster's creation and when Tabitha was reincarnated as Miranda, who had a whole life with Henry, Robert Joy, and their family outside the town before she and her children became trapped there. Now that the From mystery about the how and why of the monster's creation has been answered, the question of when they were created needs to be addressed in Season 4. From is setting up a big flashback to the monster's creation and children's sacrifice. This was set up before the Season 3 finale's reveal. Even before the answers about the monster's origins were revealed in the Season 3 finale, the show already began to tease a major flashback to the children's sacrifice. When Julie time travels in From Season 3, Episode 8, she travels backwards in time, first to the From Season 2 ending when she was being tormented by the music box monster, and then back to the beginning of Season 2 and the end of Season 1. The last thing Julie hears are the children's cries of Ankui.